Morning. I'm about to start a day hike, what hopefully will be summiting Pleasant Mountain via the Ledges Trail. I've got the map right here, pulled it up and focused on where I'm at. Let's see if I can get this set. Okay, so you can see the P over on the right there. That's where I'm parked, but unfortunately the parking lot is not plowed out. So I'm just sort of pulled off to the side of the road, hope the car will be okay. But we are taking the Ledges Trail. It's about, in total, up to where the connector is, bringing up to the tower there, it's about 1.8 miles. So we'll see how it goes. It's about 2 degrees outside right now. You can see here I'm parked just on the side of the road. The trailhead's over there. I've got my pack, and hopefully I have everything I need. I've got snowshoes just in case, some micro spikes, plenty of stuff to go along. My total pack weight was just under 20 pounds, but between the snowshoes and water and food, that's probably 10 or 11 pounds alone. So gear base weight was probably just under 10. So we'll go ahead and see how things go. Again, here's the parking lot that I was unable to park in, so hopefully the car will be okay just on the side of the road. And we'll see how things go. All right, we've reached our board here. Again, we're on the Ledges Trail, Pleasant Mountain. We've got about 1.8 to the main summit. Here's a bigger view of our map. So we've got several trails here. It's the Shawnee Peak ski area, which we drove past on the way down. And we're doing the Ledges Trail here, which is a Blue Blaze trail right off of, we're about 3 miles off of Route 302 in Southern Maine in Bridgeton. So we'll see how things go. So far the trail's somewhat broken. Doesn't look like anybody's really been up today yet. This area got about 1 inch or 2 of snow last night, so we'll see how things go. I've got my poles with my snow baskets on, so it's easy moving so far, but I'm not sure what it'll be like as we get up to higher elevations. Okay, so we got on the trail about 10 past 8 this morning. I drove up, I left about 6:30 and drove up to the mountain. It's about 10 of 9 right now, and we're starting to see some really nice views. The trail's been great. It's, as I said before, it's broken up pretty well. So I'd say that there's about a layer of crust, but then it's only like 1 inch or 2 of powder underneath. I've just got my Keen Pyrenees hiking boots, which have the Keen Dry in them, which is like their version of Gore-Tex. And I've got some LL Bean gaiters on as well. So it's been nice and dry. Traction's been good so far. And we'll keep going and see how things get as we get further up. So we just reached an overlook spot. See the beautiful view there. Sorry for the camera being so shaky. I'm just filming on my phone today. So I did this hike once in the fall a couple years ago, and I took a picture, I think of this area just about, which is actually at the top of my channel page. So if you want to take a look at my channel page, you'll see this exact view in a different season. So we came from down here. I had one good slip. You can tell that in the areas where the sun's really hitting the trail, it probably melts during the day and then freezes again at night, so it's all ice underneath. And I took a good spill. I'm wearing these EMS pants, which are actually more of a 3-season pant, and I've got some long underwear base layer underneath. But these were pretty quick drying. I got some snow on it, just brushed it right off, so it's pretty good. The poles are working really good with the snow baskets on them. We'll keep going up here and see how things are as we go further up the trail. The only other time that I hiked this trail, I didn't summit actually, so I'm not positive what the rest of the trail looks like, but we'll kind of go, and if things get nasty, I don't mind turning around, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we've made it essentially to the end of what's called the Ledges Trail. And from here, it's another point to the main summit. You can see if I took a left here, that'd be the Southwest Ridge Trail to Denmark Road. We definitely got some more powder, especially as we were coming up the ridge. And you could tell where there was more like snow drifts. But it's very powdery. So it's not here, it's more crusty here, but you can see where my tracks are. But over near the ridge, it was very powdery. It was much deeper, but powdery enough that it was still easy to get through. So we'll continue moving up the trail here. It's going pretty well so far. I'm not sure what the temperature is at this point. When I was at the trailhead, it was about 2 degrees, but it was supposed to warm up to, I think, like 10 or 12 by 10 o'clock, and it's just now 20 past 9. Another thing, so I've been drinking on my Camelback. Hopefully this is in frame, and I do have one of these neoprene sleeves on it, but I have been, every time that I drink, you can tell that it is starting to get a little frozen. So after every drink that I have, I do kind of blow the water back into the reservoir, and that seems to be doing the trick. So just a little tip if anybody does have issues where their Camelback's freezing even with the neoprene thing on. But it's working pretty well, much better than if I had nothing at all. So we'll keep moving up trail here, and we'll see how things are as we get to the summit. Okay, as you can see, we've reached the summit, 2,006 feet. I think the elevation gain, it was about 1.8 miles, and the elevation gain is, I believe, about 1,600 feet up the trail that we went. You can see here they have this fire tower, which I will not be climbing today. And as we look out here, we can get a beautiful view of the White Mountains. Let's move over towards the ridge here. Try and do it without falling. It's a bit windier up here. I had to shed some layers on the way up, so I'll probably put those back on now. You can see here, it's a beautiful view. And I felt pretty good about the hike. It was, sorry, I just had to put my gloves on, my hands were freezing. So I felt good about the hike. As I said, this is really the first hike that I've done in these types of conditions. So I feel really good about it. I think it gives me a sense of where I'm at, how I feel about my gear. As I mentioned before, I did bring some micro spikes and snowshoes, which I did not end up needing, but I'm happy I brought them. I wasn't at all sure what the conditions would be like. Okay, so when I was up at the summit, my phone got too cold and the battery shut off. So what I've actually done now is I've moved further down to where that overpass spot is, or overlook spot is, and I picked this up not too long ago, this Insignia battery pack, a mobile battery, and I brought it out today just for this reason, because I figured this might happen with my phone. I know from experience walking the dog that if the phone gets too cold, it'll just shut off, but if you plug it back into power, it'll wake itself back up. So I've been doing that, got the phone back working, and I figured while I stopped, I just fired up the MSR Pocket Rocket, and I'm gonna have some via coffee, and then I'll continue on my way. So I'm getting close to the end of the trail again. On the way down, I've passed 4 other hikers. One guy had a dog, and of those guys, there was one with micro spikes, which coming down some areas probably wasn't a bad idea. I did slip a little in some spots because it was pretty icy, but I didn't end up putting mine on. Most of the way I've been fine. And there was also one of the guys had snowshoes on, which I think probably ended up being a little bit overkill for what this hike ended up being. He's probably having to put in a lot more effort just to walk with the snowshoes, than he would if he just had his boots. So, but again, still happy I brought mine just in case. And who knows, maybe next time if I do this trail or another trail around here, I'll end up having to use some of the other stuff that I brought. But continue moving along the trail and see what the car situation is down at the bottom. As you saw before, I had to kind of pull over the side, and I think where I was parked, my little car was in there pretty good, so hopefully other people have left me enough room that I can kind of build up a little speed if I'm having trouble getting traction. But I will touch again as we get to the bottom. We made it back to the car. You can see there's a couple other cars there, and I noticed just now about 10 yards, 20 yards in front of where I parked, there's a no parking sign. So it looks like maybe where I parked is okay. This area here that's cleared out used to be a lot smaller, so maybe they are going to put a larger parking lot here, which would be really good, especially for summer when this gets busier. But all in all, it's a great quick little hike, and again, I think I really got a better sense of where my capabilities are at and where my gear's at, and I'll put together a couple other videos just showing what my pack loadout for the day was, and also what my clothing was. And who knows, maybe I'll have some comments to add there just on what worked and what I might change moving forward. But let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and if you could just give this a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, feel free to check out my channel. I've got several other videos on hiking, camping, and other just kind of like general stuff that tips and tricks and things like that I've come across. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon with another one.